So when we talk about a credit process that your collector will love, I always tell people that when you write a credit policy, you write a collections policy. You write them together. So anything that you do from a credit policy affects your collections and vice versa. Your credit policy is affected by your company's business decisions. So they might sometimes as a company say, you know what, we're willing right now to take on a little bit more risk. So if we're taking on more risk and we're taking on customers that we're not so sure about, then we have to be tighter on our collections. But if we say, listen, it's tight, we're not taking on any risk, we're going to be very stringent on how we give out credit, well, then we know as a collector, well, these people are probably worth what we're giving them, so maybe we don't have to contact them as often. Maybe if there's a problem and they're not paying us, it's not because they can't pay us, it's there's an issue with how we bill them or something like that. So that's why it's got to be one policy. It is basically, credit and collections go hand in hand. It's Batman and Robin, it's peanut butter and jelly. You want your collections team and your credit team, if they're separate functions, at the table together, creating that credit and collections policy. You also want your business leaders part of that too, because you want to make sure what you're doing is helping to further your overall business goals. When you have customers that you've decided, hey, they're worth this much money and they want more. And usually if the customer wants more, there's a sales rep behind them asking you to grant them more. As a credit professional, you want to manage that relationship with the customer. You also want to manage that relationship with your internal customer. And that's your sales team. You want to make sure you have a good relationship. So when you get into a conversation where they say, hey, we need to be able to sell this customer at this credit limit, and you're saying they're not worth it, well, then you sit down and you talk to them and say, okay, we're willing to give them that extra credit, but we're going to create some rules or some guide rails for that customer that they have to stick to in order to keep that line. So always try to work with customers. You don't want to be an impediment to sales. You don't want sales to think, oh man, those credit people, all they want to do is keep me from selling. Make sure you have a good relationship where you can say, I'll do this, but here's some things that I need from you. And sometimes it's, can you get me a letter of credit? Can you get me a personal guarantee? There's certain things in your toolbox you can use to help you mitigate that risk.